Hello, hello. Let's get that audio check done real quick. Make sure the family can hear me. Down here, check my chat. Thank you, guys. BRW Will. That's the first time I've seen your name before. All right. We got a serious one today. Thank you, moderators. Wendy Flores, Fearless Vic. I see you guys. Rusty Woodpecker. I saw Dawn in there. Pamela Swan. I don't even have to say her name. Hey, Jahara. Great audio. Excellent. Nelson Perez. Yeah, we got a serious video today. We have a serious video today because we understand that the mode of communication, that someone is communicating with the general public in a very unique way. And it's almost as if by this method of communication, it's almost an admission that they are saying we are being watched and we have to present material to you in a certain way. It comes off as ritualistic. It may come off. You have to think about it. If the news is actually false, fake news, something is suddenly breaking, but it's actually even more bullshit. If everything is the exact opposite of what we have been conditioned to believe, then we need to see these Olympic rituals through that same lens. I was very confident in my interpretation of the 2012 Olympic opening ceremony, the 30th Olympiad. Now, the 2024 was the 33rd Olympiad. I'll eventually get to that one too. There's no hurry because we have some amazing things to go through in this video closing 2012. Then I'm going to have to draw your attention to some profound things in the 2016 rituals as well. And then 2020. We're going to go in order because it's necessary. But in 2012, in the 30th Olympiad, the third time the Olympics were held in London, they told us the truth. And they masked it. Very good for the blind, for those who are unwilling to see, for those who are steeped in negative default programming, who believe that the world that they live in is an actual physical world and not a perceived experience by an immortal being. Those who are lost to the truth, they're going to see the rituals as cinema, as a play, as entertainment. But there's no getting around the fact that there were 5 independent scenes and skits that were done in the 2012 opening ceremony. In the very first skit, it was masked as the Industrial Revolution, but that's not what we saw. What we saw was ordinary, almost Neolithic, Dark Age culture interrupted by a man telling them, do not fear. Everything is a dream. And then their world was interrupted quickly by people who had technology and engineering sciences and knowledge who came from out of a mountain. And the hole was technological, and it moved the tree, showing the tree was artificial. It was a prop. The people came from below the world. And when they came out, they built an awesome infrastructure, it was made to look like a city, and then they turned around in the first scene and already established a new world order. They brought the 5 rings together for the Olympics, which also, goes back to 1920, League of Nations, which became the United Nations. The symbolism was all very clear. The story is ancient. They literally told you the story of the Anunnaki, the Anuna, when the bearded ones, and believe me, all those builders, the guys with the top hats, they're all wearing beards. They all got those top hats. Those were the builders. They showed up. Not one of them was female. Just like in the Anunnaki records, they were all males. One female was acknowledged among the Anuna, Ninhursag, Ninki, Ninlil, but They told the story of the Anuna all over again. Technologically advanced race comes up from the Apsu, the great deep, the underworld. In the first scene, they establish it. Post-reset culture comes up from underground, educates and guides the surface dwellers, and together they work together to build something. And the ultimate goal was bringing the whole world together. That was the first scene. And then the second scene was once the world was brought together, and there's no, all wars are fake. All the controversies between countries is out the window. Now everybody is unified, answering to the same governing body. Now the very second act happens. In the very second act that we saw in the first opening ceremony was the children were not protected by the nurses and doctors. The little COVID demons came out and attacked the stage, and the children were in their beds and they're terrified. And they looked at the nurses, and the nurses did not protect them. The dancing nurses, when the demons showed up, then all of a sudden started acting like they were controlled. Their dancing changed. It became staccato, robotic. It became very mechanized. It was unusual to watch. The children received no help from the pharmaceutical giants. They were attacked by them. The children in the beds weren't actual children. They were the people of the world who, with a childlike innocence, absolutely fell for the psyop that the servants of Apollo and the pharmaceutical giants conducted against them. They weren't saved by the nurses. Instead, Mary Poppins showed up. A whole bunch of Mary Poppins descended to save humanity. But Mary Poppins is very well known. It's very well known that Mary Poppins is connected to the vaccine. Showed all this in the first presentation. So the third scene, the reason I'm reminding you of these scenes is because the closing ceremony is intrinsically connected. It is a continuum of the concepts and ideas of the opening ceremony. Someone choreographed all of this, and it was genius. Absolutely genius. The third scene was all about how the internet changed the fundamentals of society, altered the family unit, which was in the national unit and the socio-political unit, and it completely altered all that and created bicultural communities, biracial families. It was all in there. How rapid communication completely broke down the family structuring, allowing the elite to take over all the individual nations, which has already been done. Anybody believes that there's any free nations is a fool. You know, the entire world is now a captured operation and has been since 2020. It's all done. There are no more countries that own or do anything, no matter what the news or how it's portrayed. They are all owned by NGOs and corporations now. So the third scene shows how the internet and then cell phones changed everything and completely broke down the moral, ethical fabric of humanity, making them easier to control and enslaved humans to their phones. It was all in there. And how did the third scene end? It ended with a total systemic blackout. Everything blacked out. The opening ceremony is connected to the closing ceremony, as you'll see. The fourth scene. I couldn't get any arguments from anybody about my interpretation on the fourth scene. It's so obvious. It shows a sun in a red sky. And then red dust obscures the sun, and a little boy, a new humanity. It's not a little boy that we're really watching. The boy is a symbol for humanity in its infancy, beginning a whole new biosphere, a totally different world. That's what the fourth scene was about. It was about the Phoenix phenomenon initiating a whole new age. That's what Phoenix does. It ends a world before and begins a new world. But what goes through both worlds is humanity. But the old man of humanity is now young again, has all kinds of new things to learn about this new world that the Phoenix has brought. That's what the fourth one was about. The surety that the interpretation is valid. We have established that veracity by the fact that the fifth scene was the vapor canopy world, which follows the Phoenix phenomenon. Every bit of it, all this Archaix research I've been laying out for you guys was right there in the 2012 Olympic ceremony in the beginning. And I'm telling you now, it continues. Anyone who has followed the Archaix material for at least a short period of time and knows about my Phoenix phenomenon and my Great Pyramid research, you're going to be amazed at the closing ceremony. They know exactly what they're doing. They're telling us the truth about what to expect. They told us the truth about the history of the world. They told, which was the opening act. They told us the truth, which was about resets and how technology and the strong body of humans are always surviving in the underworld and coming back to help those on the surface. They told the truth. They told the truth about the COVID and the vaccine narrative. It's all there. It's all there. They told the truth about it before it even happened. They told the truth absolutely about the rise of the internet and how it affected our world, how it bled into cell phone technologies, how cell phone technology was used to ensnare humanity, slave everybody to a phone, then turn around and they're telling the truth about the blackout. Because when they finally cut that, once everyone is totally dependent on internet and cell phone technologies, that blackout is going to be devastating. But it's all there, and they're telling the truth. And they told the truth about the Phoenix phenomenon, which is going to come and following that blackout. And then they told the truth that the vapor canopy is the direct result of the Phoenix phenomenon. Every bit of it laid out in the first video. The link to that video is in the description box. You can't miss it. Also, I have 4, 5, or 6 other videos on all my interpretations on the first and second and the 7 seals. It's all there. I posted the chart earlier for you guys to follow. The elite are operating by the Greek Olympiad system. Enmeshed in the Greek Olympiad system very cleverly is the older, more ancient Pythian calendar of the Oracle of Delphi. Remember, divorce yourself from any usage of the Judeo-Christian model. It is a lie. It's been a lie from the beginning, and it's what our controllers want us to use when we interpret eschatology. But when you only go by the Greek mythology, using it as a cipher, everything makes absolutely sense. Remember, the Olympiad system and the Delphic Oracle's Pythian calendar are Greek institutions. They antedate the Roman, they antedate the Christian. They antedate anything that's Jewish. So we've been lied to. We've been given the wrong ciphers, the wrong interpretive symbols. We've been given everything that we needed to completely deceive ourselves and give us and spend our lives down all these rabbit holes. So in Archaix, we're putting all this back together. So this presentation here is going to go even deeper on the 2012 closing ceremony of the Olympics, the 30th Olympiad. And we're going to see what they were telling us, because they were telling us the truth, and it's absolutely amazing. So that's my intro. Maybe a little long-winded, but I'm kind of hyped up about this. I had to endure 4 hours to get all my screenshots. Oh, that coffee's so good. Let's see. I do have a couple announcements. Paul Cook will be joining me. He and I just need to work out a good schedule. You know, we got different schedules we got to contend with. That's the only reason why he couldn't show up on the last one. 40 people in the chat. Awesome. Now it just changed. So Paul Cook will be joining me. There's a whole long list of people I'm going to be inviting to my channel. Small channels, people that got some profound information, they have value to bring to the community, and even big channels that are pretty much almost forgotten, and those who are on the rise right now, some very popular people, even some people I disagree with for whatever reason. I'm not going to sit here and cherry pick. Now, Ancient Aliens community, they're welcome to come on my channel, but I'm not going to bite my tongue. But if anybody from that franchise, anybody networked with Billy Carson and Forbidden Knowledge, you're welcome on my channel as well. But you cannot expect me as a warrior for truth to ever bite my tongue when you're in my presence saying things that are patently untrue. Not only untrue, but things that I can provide data sets on showing you how untrue they are. Yeah, you have to expect that if you come into my house that I may get real critical with you if you go to espousing things that are fictitious. But other than that, everybody's welcome. Let's see. That's right, Nelson Perez. It's all about being the Ephesian knight, man, wearing the whole armor of God. You got to put it on. You don't have to be a holier than thou Bible thumping, angel worshiping, individual. No. True spirituality involves power, because we draw from ourselves more than we contain. And anybody who is truly walking in the spirit today is connected to source. And once they feel that connection to source, they're in a damn thing that they fear. And you know these people, you know them by their works. You don't know them by their words. You don't know them by their histories. You don't know them by their personalities. No, you know them by their works. Because in the end, we have to judge all things by effects. That's the only thing that matters. So you can have your suspicions about me, you can have your suspicions about other people, and all that's good. But you really have to analyze, has someone brought value to the community? And is that value sustainable? Does it spread out? Do other people, is it timeless? Because if it's temporary, then it's no value, it's an illusion. But if somebody is bringing value to the community and it's not something transient, it's something that 10 years from now, somebody can listen to and say, wow, that is profound. That is because that individual is connected to source. That's the best litmus test. Judge all things by their effects. Screw everything else. A mouth will say anything. Hey, Perceiver, how you doing, bro? You need to come back on my channel too, man. All right, chat's moving pretty fast. I will be doing the Goddard Tunnel. Yes, I'm going to be giving you guys the business on the Goddard Tunnel too. Opening ceremony for that 2016. No doubt. All right, let's see what we got here. Nothing. It's crazy. Yeah. I was looking for something. I wanted to. That's not going to work. I'm just going to turn it off. All right, so Rise Above tomorrow. I'm going live. 1:30 p.m. Texas time, 7:30 in London time, UK. Rise Above. Them boys at the UK, me talking about all the crazy stuff going on over there. They're going to come on my channel to do it. That'll be tomorrow. So I will say, that should sum up. I don't really have a lot of announcements. Somebody can put the link in there for Virginia Beach. We're still doing that meetup. Still doing that meetup. All right. Glad to see so many new faces. Several new faces got axed. You guys know I have zero tolerance policy. Big John starting to adopt my policy very well. He's starting to get it. Got a lot of people that just come to my community. They're absolutely toxic. They're not here to learn. They're not here to provide any type of value. And as moderators and as managers on the channel, we're able to click on someone's name and then it can go just to a menu and we're able to pull up all their past comments. It's very easy to see who a troll is. It's very easy to see if somebody's just always toxic and negative. You know what? Yeah, we have been cleaning house and it doesn't even matter. Thousands of people have been blocked from Archaix. still growing exponentially every day and will continue. So, yeah, Big John's been at it now. He's starting to see. He and I had a conversation this morning because he felt guilty. I said, man, I had to block this. I had to ask this person and this person and this person. I told him, I said, hey, man, you ain't got to check in with me. I said, I trust your intuition. If the same name keeps popping up, it's all negative, man. Listen, I am going to protect the community over the individual every time. I'm not dealing with that. I'm not dealing with it. So I'm only telling you guys this so for those of you who are going to get axed in the future because you're not listening to me now, you've been given fair warning. So you're not coming to my channel with that negativity. I'm not trying to hear it. I'm not talking about you having questions. I'm not talking about you having disagreements. I'm not talking about that. Talking about coming into my house, talking about I don't know what I'm talking about, and I need to shut up, or this is bullshit, or y'all are a cult, all that stuff. You're gone. I don't even give second chances. You're gone. You're axed. So, yeah, in our case, we got a tight family. We got a tight family, very respectful people. And I'm cool with that. I don't even care about trolls no more. I don't even talk about it no more. I'm done with that. Everywhere we've been, Louisiana, North Carolina, all the way Washington, D.C., Florida, San Diego 3 times, New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, everywhere we've been, and we've given out the call locally that, hey, man, we're over here. We have always met with some of the greatest people, different communities, meeting us at restaurants, meeting us in parking lots. It's been awesome. Archaix community is the human community at its best. It's great. I love it. Love you guys. But now, as my buddy Martin would say, it is time to get to the juicy. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get this presentation on. Remember what I told you. The closing ceremony is not dissimilar from the opening ceremony. Whoever designed and choreographed all this, they did it to where it's almost lockstep. The closing ceremony wouldn't even make sense without the opening ceremony. It's very interesting. They cross-reference each other. So the proof of that, you're going to see it. They actually give a speech. So it's absolute proof that it's a continuation of the opening ceremony. It's quite genius. So let's do it. Rusty Woodpecker says, bring it on, Jason. So let's go ahead and do it. All right, we got over 2,300 people in the chat. That's beautiful. I know you guys want to hear and see these pictures. Now you know that the Olympic Committee owns the copyrights to all the videos. You can't show them, but you can take screenshots and share, and all that. It's fair use. But I tried twice to upload the videos. YouTube blocks that. It's not happening. Just can't do it. So I'm going straight into it. Share my screen. Entire screen. Right here, share. I'm going to try something real quick. Not real sure how that's going to work. We'll see. That might work right there. Let's see. You guys let me know. All right. Hey, can you guys see that? So this is just an aerial shot. This is a helicopter or drone shot. It's all. I got a few of these to share. Just from different. This is Olympic Stadium, London Olympic Park, right here, 2012. This is the beginning of the closing ceremony. Opens up rather weird. It starts rather weird. What you're looking at is a representation of the Ferris wheel in London, London bridges. You can see these factories. You can see London Tower, Clock Tower. This is a representation of the city of London. And yet all the buildings and all the streets, all the vehicles and even people, everybody is covered in news articles, newspapers. Everybody is covered in words Words are information. Everyone has been rendered into a message. Everything's a message here. Here's a different angle. This is the city of London. Everything is a periodical. There are news headlines on buildings, on people, on the vehicles, on the streets, on the bridges. It's crazy. And you can see all kinds of little messages. Here's an aerial view. Now, throughout the entire ceremony, they keep this 8-pointed star figure because it's really reminiscent of the British flag. And they keep the same. They just keep changing the terrain, but they keep the shape. So here it is. Again, another aerial view before everything takes off. In the very beginning of the ceremony, we have this truck with these newspapers all over it, and this woman starts singing a song. She's introduced. Look at the message on the truck. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Right there. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. Not only are these modern newspaper articles of things going on in the world, but there's scientific papers mixed among them, and there's a bunch of quotes from British literature from the 15th, 16th, 17th, like Milton, just different English authors, famous authors, all mixed in here. She's singing. They got the Olympic torch back there. You're going to find out how many torches that is. That's not a random number of torches. That's a very specific number of torches. They publish it. It's going to blow your mind right here. Here it is. You got biblical sayings, thou shalt be my, all kinds of stuff right here on the piano. Piano's playing the music. And she's singing the intro to the Olympics. This bridge right here says, when a man is tired of London, he is tired of life. It's got this big C right here. I don't know what that means. But rage against the light, to be or not to be, all kinds of little hidden messages in here. But it's so odd just seeing a city. Everything is covered in information. Everything is covered in new. It's the information age. Everything is just absolutely packed full of media. The media is in control of transit. The media is in control of the roads. The media is in control of the buildings. The media is in control of the people. They're wearing them. They're wearing media. Media is everywhere here. And she's done. They drive her off. And as soon as she's done, the music goes from real melodic to this steampunk post-reset techno type music, and all the instruments are pots and pans, trash cans, and tin buckets, tin pails. It's almost as if it's depicting degenerative society after society has collapsed, a Mad Max type theme where people are playing, all the music they're playing is just whatever they can find. There are no real instruments anymore. Here it is again, all pots and pans and hubcaps and the grills. They're literally making music. The percussionists are making music on these things, but everything is trash that they're making music on. And it did sound, it sounded really good. You need on you. Hey, this video is on YouTube. The 2012 Olympics closing ceremony. You need to go listen to it. There it is in the front. To be or not to be? That is the question. Again, here is the world covered by media. While this skit is playing out, these percussionists continue to play on these like, I don't want to call it ghetto, but it's like the society is now so fallen that They're making use of whatever they have. Mad Max type music. Here's London from another perspective. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Right here on this news. What's it talking about? Right here we have ships that pass into the night. So we have hidden messages everywhere. Now, as you can see, the buildings are newspaper. Look, all this is newspaper. These are all writings. It's all writings of different sizes. All the buildings are covered with all kinds of slogans, and this is it. I can't read them all. I'm no enemy. I'm no enemy to learning. It's weird. The ones that they chose is weird. Well, while this guy is playing a violin here, out of the London clock tower pops up this guy. This is the very beginning of the ceremony. This guy pops up, and he literally reveals to us that the closing ceremony is a continuation of the opening ceremony. How does he do that? Because while this guy is playing on his instrument, you see all these religious and English poetical writings. Even the pillars are covered in information. As this guy's playing a really good music, this guy here, see, what is that? 'Tis better to have loved and lost than to never have it loved at all. Yeah, that's almost like a simulation theory maxim. Okay, little clouds forecast. Okay, this guy pops up. He's pretending to be Winston Churchill, but he's quoting Shakespeare, the same quote at the very beginning. The same quote. Here he is, popping up. The whole Colosseum is listening to him quote the same Shakespeare passage as the opening ceremony. It's the word for word, talking about, and when I go to sleep, I will dream again. He's talking about our reality being a dream. He literally says right here, he's telling all the people, look, no matter what you see, do not fear. This is what he says. Same thing that's in the Shakespeare quote at the very beginning. So the closing ceremony opens with the same dialogue as the opening ceremony did. And when he's done, the color changes and all the vehicles start moving. Here's a world controlled. This is a world controlled and empowered, influenced by media, corporations, news networks. And they're just moving around, having a blast. There he goes. He's all serious in his role too, playing Winston Churchill, his old crooked mouth. Did a good job too. He's steady giving the speech while all the vehicles start moving. It's a lot of detail given to this set. Here's vehicles pulling trailers. They're all covered in newspaper articles. All the 18-wheelers, everything. Every vehicle's covered in newspapers. Screenshots don't give you the clarity to zoom in all the way. You got to watch the video, guys. So here's the set as it continues. This is the information age. This is the world as a captured operation. It is no longer a free world. That's why everything's white. Everything's captured operation. Everything is utilitarian. Everything here. This is a world where the media is in control of the human collective and what they understand and the way they believe the world. He's still playing his music. They're still up there beating on those musical instruments, but they're fake instruments. They're just pieces of trash. I got a lot of close-ups in here. What was going on? It's hard to read them though. The set was it's impressive watching it live. It really is. They're going off. A lot of detail on this set. The world is mine oyster. That's right. A lot of the music they chose too, a lot of the music that they chose for this whole presentation, a lot of the lyrics were talking about how the world is an illusion, how everything is perceived by the mind and things are fake. It's very interesting the music they chose. Oh, Freddie Mercury's in there talking about, is this the real life or is this just fantasy? He's going off too. Let's see. Here was what really odd. This was so odd. I don't know if anybody else picked up on this, but several times they drew attention to this sign, reduce speed now. And yet the sign is talking to humans because the sign isn't facing the traffic. No one in the traffic could read that sign. It's backwards. But the people that are going this way, who are all jogging and running, they're the only ones that could read that street sign. He didn't even read it though. He just kept on going. Figure that one out. All the traffic covered in newspapers is coming this way, but a guy going by himself running that way ignores a sign that's telling him to slow down. Just more pictures. Yeah, just so bizarre. The level of detail here. Okay, look at this message back here. If we shadows have offended, if we shadows have offended. All right. Are demons trying to tell us something? She was acting very bizarre. All kinds of messages in there. So this was the presentation showing the world basically absolutely controlled by the media. Everything is controlled by media. A Martian sends a postcard home. Here it is. Controlled by media. Look at this sign. Look at this message. To die will be an awfully something adventure. To die would be an awfully something adventure. Wow. I took a lot of screenshots of this, of the opening. This is the opening skit. This is the opening skit right here. A lot of people in here. Everything's become sanitized. Everything is controlled. And he's steady going off talking about, as this whole skit's going, he's talking. And he's still steady. He literally says that no matter what you see, do not fear. This is his message. So when that skit's over, we have introductions. I thought this was pretty cool. Kind of, here's Prince Henry and Kate. I just want to draw some attention. This is 2012. He doesn't look happy. He doesn't look happy, and she's all right. I mean, she's perfectly normal to me. Watch. Again, this is Prince Henry, look at him and look at her. She's looking around. She's enjoying the show. He is not enjoying anything. I don't know what's wrong with him. Here's another one. Here he is again. She's enjoying herself. Look at him. Again. She's looking at all the spectacles. She's looking at everything. He's something's on his mind. Again. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate. I just see her behavior very normal. His is not. I don't know. This guy's hand, I don't know. His hand almost looks fake. I don't know. I could be overdoing it. Again, she's doing perfectly normal behavior. He's a little too rigid to me. All right, toward the end of this skit, even their tools, all the street workers, they're all using, everything's controlled by the media. All the activity, all the labor, all the work groups, all the traffic, everything's controlled by media. So jackhammers. Got a few shots of that. All right, then they pretty much all vacate the set to the perimeters. They all go to the perimeter, leaving very few on the inside. And I think the first skit is over. I do believe it's over. Let me check my chat real quick. That was the information age. It is the age that is absolutely controlled by media, aka corporations are now in control of the world that was built. You saw in the opening ceremony. I don't know what's continued here. All right, yeah, I believe this is the change of scene here. Oh, it is. So we're going to go back. For now, we'll go back. All right. So was the way I shared that preferable to the times in the past? Did you like that format better? Oh, to die will be an awfully big adventure. That's the quote. Thank you. Thank you, Cometa Soulstar. From the 1904 play, Peter Pan. Imagine that. Pan means devil. Imagine that. So if you like that style of presentation, then that's the one I'm going to, thank you, Jon Snow. That's the one I'm going to stay with. All right. Yes, media was the character in Greek mythology who was over illusion. You're right. In Jason of the Argonauts, she deceived them. Excellent. So let's move right on. The word news is an acronym for snow. The media snows people's minds. Okay, thank you, Mike. Whitewashed. Got you. All right, we got some ground to cover. This ain't going to be a terribly long video, bro, guys. We've already covered a lot of ground, but we got some serious ground to cover. It's going to be amazing. Let's go back into sharing. Let's go back into presentation mode. All right, here's where we left off. Scene 1 is over. Scene 2 begins here. The information age. The information age bleeds into the basically the media age, where mainstream media is now in absolute dominion, control over the human psyche. The collective now is governed by the media. The medium tells them what to think, what to believe, tells them what the history was, tells them what the future is. That's what that whole episode was. The media, newspapers, news organizations, corporations, they have now completely taken over the human mind. This is what that presentation was. That allows for something else. I'm not going to lend too much interpretation to this next one. You guys know, as a simulationist, I believe that the underworld is thriving and has been for thousands of years. That might be what's being depicted here. But the scene changes drastically to this right here. And these guys come out. Their locomotion is more primitive. They're not in cars. They're not in cars, trucks. They're not in the huge 18-wheelers, none of that. These guys here are on bicycles. The locomotion is different. Now, they're also wearing some very unusual helms. Here they come. It's a good song. These guys are singing, the Pet Shop Boys are singing West End Girls. It's a good song, but I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm looking at here. If it's not, I have a suspicion, but to me, it's not even really important. It almost looks like vapor canopy coloring again. And they may be depicting another vapor canopy scenario. They just might be. I don't know. But it is interesting. It's very intriguing to me. These vehicles and these helms, because vapor canopy conditions would be different. It's going to offer us new type of technologies, new challenges. I don't know. But they go on for a long, there they are right there. So while these guys are riding out, we have an urban style presentation, but it's urban decay. The only instruments the people have are whatever they can find that they can bang a stick on. But they made some really good music. But they're beating on tin cans, aluminum, trash can lids as cymbals. They did a fantastic job. The music is awesome, but they're using trash receptacles for their music. They're also dressed all in different ways, like an urban setting that has very little money. It's just basically a music concert. It's a music concert showing all these things. Looks like London's been taken apart. Here they are again. They're using hubcaps and trash can lids. It's just a huge party. But that's what they're using. It's almost as if the idea being presented is after the world that is controlled by the media collapses, we're left with a post-reset scenario of basically intelligent people who remember the world before, now forced into a primal, a more primitive situation. It's like city dwellers now becoming almost Neolithic in their practices. Now, the broom is also a reset symbol. Here we have a lot of people using brooms. They're using the brooms not just to clean up whatever mess is left behind from the collapse of the media empire that was ruling over humanity. But now the brooms are using to also sweep away some of the information. They go at it too. They do this for a while. The whole idea here is after the collapse of the media empire, there's a reset where people are back into a primitive, they're living a more primitive lifestyle, but it's still modern people of today. And yet a huge cleanup goes on where they're sweeping away a bunch of information. I don't know if this is the destruction of libraries. I don't really understand. Maybe they're doing away with a certain ideology, or maybe it's just a total distrust of media together, and they're destroying all knowledge. I don't know. But this ritual goes on for a while. Everybody's in on it. They're working all together. It's interesting how on this side they're all female, but on the other side they're female and male. All right, let's see. All right, we'll move on. So that's what happens after. The second scene is an obvious collapse to this media-controlled reality. There's some type of reset. Humanity has continued, but now they totally distrust the written word. They totally distrust the information that's out there, and they do away with it. That's what the broom is. The broom is a symbol of reset, cleaning up after a cataclysm, but it's also the symbol of the elimination of something that is not wanted. And when you see a whole bunch of people all using the broom, they are eliminating a facet of their reality that they no longer trust. That's what's being conveyed here. Now, this goes straight into, now look, London looks bad. London looks like it's antique and antiquated. It's all grayed out. London looks like it's very old now. And yet in the middle, we have this bed. Remember, just like the opening ceremony, the focus wasn't on children in the hospital beds. They're actually just symbols of a naive and innocent human family that had fallen victim to the pharmaceutical giants who attacked them, the servants of Apollo. So remember, Apollo Pharmacia is the breaking of the first seal in 2020, followed in 2024 by Apollo Helios, who begins to take peace from the earth in small arms conflicts all over the world. This has already begun. Now, this continues in the same vein. It's a little boy right here. His world, where he's sleeping, is populated by beings that pretend to be the inanimate objects of his life. His world is actually populated by other beings right here. His whole bed, everything about it, are other beings. This little boy, the focus is not on the infant, on the adolescent, on the child. The focus here is on that little boy represents an all new humanity who is moving into another epos, another period of development. This human family that he represents right here is what is represented as a little kid, because it's a new age. It's a new period in the world. And it's just like the stork and the baby. Thank you. Here he is again. Now, look, the title of this is Spellbound. That's a song playing. Spellbound. Imagine that. Is there a spell on? Will a spell be cast on future humanity? It looks like some freedom. Humanity has been freed from something, and therefore humanity is ripe to fall for something even darker, because the freedom from the media-controlled, corporate-controlled world is just a front. The collapse was designed. Here is the boy jumping up. He's getting up. He's waking up from his slumber, his sleep. And here he is. His world is elevating him, and he's having a blast. He's seeing things new for the first time. It's a whole new world. He has a lot of support. But they twist him and they flip him and they turn him all around and he gets totally discombobulated. He gets dizzy and they take turns dancing with him. And as he is distracted, the individuals that made up his world begin their transformations. As he's distracted, all these dancers, while he's not noticing it, change their attire. By the end of this little ritual dance, they look demonic. They look terrible. Look at that. Look at their faces. They're little clones. Let's see. Yeah, that's the end of them. That's the end of that one there. So by the time they're done, the little boy is gone. You can't see the little boy anywhere. He's completely gone. And all the dancers run off the stage, but they no longer look like they looked when the ritual began. When the ritual began, you saw how they look. But when they run off the stage, this is what they look like. I don't know how they did that costume change in the middle of the stage like that. Maybe they had to have done it when they huddled up and they all took turns getting in the middle, turning their costumes inside out or whatever. I don't know how they did it, but this is the same group that held the little boy up, and they only looked anything like that. It's crazy. Bunch of little clown demons running off the stage. Again, remember in the first ceremony when we were given this blue, purplish blue, this is the vapor canopy colors. Again, vapor canopy colors. Now, here's what's really interesting. This whole set was supposed to be London. It's still London, but London is dark. It has no infrastructure, no power, nothing's going on. And now you've seen the weird armor, the weird costumes, the weird transport vehicles. You saw those. Now you saw the people look weird. It's after a reset, so people have swept away the old world. But look at London. This is still London. All the props are still there. But the only thing that has power in the vapor canopy world in post-reset London is a religious building right here. What's going on? There's the vapor canopy world. They use that color every time they do vapor canopy related stuff. All right, so now we're moving on. This is where it gets really compelling, very interesting, because this is the flag ceremony. You know what? Before we go into flag ceremony, because I'm gonna break you something off real proper here. Let me return back. I'm getting good at going back and forth like this. Like my shirt, guys, break free or die trying. Okay. Oh, yeah. Everything I'm telling you, you will have no doubt as I continue this narrative. When we get to the juicy, you're gonna have no doubt. It's amazing how they put this together. Just checking over some of my chat here. All right, 27 people, almost 2,800 people in the chat. That's pretty good. The highest I've ever had is when I did my Matrix. When I did my breakdown of the Matrix, the Archaix analysis of the Matrix movie. I actually had like 3,500 people in the chat that time. It's the most I ever had. All right. All right, let's go to the next scene. The flag ceremony. You just can't make this stuff up. All right. Let's go back to sharing. All right. Share screen. You guys know I'm always going to talk out loud while I do it. So I keep from messing. I keep from effing up. Flag ceremony begins. All the flags for every nation in the world, they parade them around. Listen, the narrator, this old British guy from East London, he talks about being from East London in there. He doesn't speak a lot. He just, every once in a while, he'll say something. He doesn't speak a lot. Just like when I showed you in the first presentation, he didn't speak a lot. But when he does talk, you need to pay attention. Because when they were doing the flag ceremony, he was very specific. He specifically said that each flag represents a nation of the world. And there are precisely 204 flags being presented in the ceremony. He said that number, 204. That means absolutely nothing in and of itself. Although I know some of my Archaix veterans just perked up. But I don't have to. I don't have to attribute any meaning that's not designed. I'm going to show you what he's talking about. And he's not talking about these flagpoles only. He's talking about something else. It's amazing. Here's the ceremony. 204 flags were marched around the Colosseum in the ceremony. All right, I think this is it. Is this the flag ceremony? No, okay. So as soon as the flag ceremony is over, as soon as he's done talking about, hey, there's 204 flags, and the flag ceremony is long, but toward the end of it, he talks about, hey, there's 204 countries participating. There's 204 flags being marched around by the Olympians themselves all the way around, all the athletes. Here's where things get so interesting. The very next skit, when the flag ceremony is over, are these guys, all of them wearing turbans. All these guys, they look like they're from maybe Pakistan or India. All these guys come out and they're playing, they're percussionists, they're playing these drums, and they sound fantastic. They sound great. They build up this cadence. Everything changes color. These guys are out here beating on these drums in the ceremony. Remember, this is right after 204 flags representing all the countries of the world. And suddenly, during this vapor canopy period, during this period where everything's blue, we have all these people wearing unusual clothes, and yet they have tribal makeup on, as if what's being represented here is like a tropical advanced race. Here they are. They're coming out here, and they're all bringing their building materials. As soon as I saw this, the Shepherd of Hermas text was just passing through my mind. I'm literally remembering whole passages of the Shepherd of Hermas as I'm watching this. How each person brought their own white stone. And the builders, 7 of them stood there, and they waited for the 8th. And the 8th was taller than all of them, and he was the gate. And he had to make sure that each one was worthy to have their stone put in the monument. This huge construction project begins as these drummers are doing this primal drum beat cadence. Here they go. They're steady building. Huge. Look, it's a lot of building materials. They're coming from every direction, going to the center to build. The dance is awesome because the dance moves that they do in basically the dance moves are replicating doing work, like hammering, moving. They're doing all kinds of dance moves that show that they're doing a lot more than just bringing these white stones here. Like they're dressing the blocks, like they're getting them all together. The dance moves show that there's a lot of activity happening. It's all very well choreographed. Somebody did a fantastic job putting this together. Look at this. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Here they are, coming out of the darkness of the vapor canopy, coming together on this plateau. They're coming together on a plateau right here, and they're putting this together. Now, any one of you guys can go back and listen to this. What shocked me was the narrator. After he mentions there's 204 flags, each flag representing a nation of the world, he turns around before you can even see evidence for it. He lets it fall out of his mouth. I'm going to quote him. Here it is right here. He says, at 1 hour and 2 minutes and 55 seconds, the narrator says, as you can see, looks like a pyramid is being built. They're working. The dance they do as they're working is awesome. With the drum beats, they did an awesome job. Here they are right here. Some of them that are not bringing blocks, they're doing this like they're just moving back and forth, but they're hammering. They're doing all kinds of little work-related stuff as they're dancing. It's a lot of activity here. And they are building a pyramid on a plateau as they come out of a dark world. It's coming together. It's coming together. Look at that. Look at that. Some of you girls were pretty sexy back in the vapor canopy period. Look at that. That old tribal makeup. Man, wonder if the light meant for that guy to look like that. Damn, I just made you famous, man. We don't even know who you are. Somebody out in the crowd. Look at this. Look at this. The symbolism is amazing. They are building the pyramid right here on a plateau. The Olympic torch is in the background. Remember, I said that because the Olympic torch is amazing as to what it represents. Still building that pyramid. A lot of people involved. There's some type of worship going on too as the pyramid's being built. They're on their hands and knees. They're no longer working. They're doing something else. Here they are again, close up. Music still playing. Great dancing in here. Still building that pyramid. All right, I think I got several shots of them doing their old worship dance. That might be it. Uh-oh, starting to look like a pyramid now, isn't it? Now, look at the positions of everybody here. They're not on their knees, guys. They're on their feet. They're all wrapped up. The positions of the arms, pay close attention. See this guy? Anatomically, that's as close to a square as you can get. Close to a square. as you can get. Right angles at the elbows, shoulders. It's as close to a square as you can get with your body. Why that's important. See the squares of the blocks. Why that's important I'll reveal here in a second. This symbolism is absolutely necessary. Every person here is assuming the geometry of a block. Steady dance routine. Steady dancing. Look at them vapor canopy girls. Look at that pyramid. Just look at that pyramid. How did that happen? Still in the vapor canopy. Look at that pyramid. And they are done. Pyramid is white casing blocks, as we already know in Archaix. Here's vapor canopy world. Vapor canopy deepens now. Now totally immersed in a vapor canopy. Pyramid is finished. A couple more pictures of it. Now, I want to show you something. These people down here are assuming the square posturing of a block. All these people down here are folding their bodies up to look like a block of stone, while all the people on the east and western axis of the pyramid look like they're flying. They're in a flying position. They're laying on the ground as if they're flying away from the pyramid, or being shot or ejected from it. Remember the Egyptian Book of the Dead. Once you pass through the kingdom of Seeker, you will find the gate of Rostal. And from the gate of Rostal, you will pass through and you will ascend into the stars. You'll escape the construct. We already know that Rostal was the Great Pyramid gate. Look at that. That's just amazing. They are flying. Look, that's not worship. Their hands are not together. They're flying. They're flying. They're making their exodus. They're leaving. They're leaving the construct. Here it is in a symbolic ritual. All during the vapor canopy. All right. So for now, go here. Again, checking back in my chat. I need to see where I'm at real quick. Okay. Oh, yeah, we got juicy stuff to go through. Hold on. I'm probably going to keep this right at 2 hours or a little under. Okay. Yeah, Victoria. Victoria, you ain't seen nothing yet. Victoria, that's my UK Archaix correspondent. That girl there is going to find. If I can't find it, she's going to find it. Listen, I'm telling you now, this is going to get deep. Let's see. All right. Okay, now, what was I going to say? So, remember, we have this guy telling us, no matter what you see, do not fear. And he says, as for me, he said, I don't want the dream to end, but when it does, and I lay my head to sleep, I will dream again. He's going to go live another life sim somewhere else. And he's happy about that. And he's telling you, the listener, look, man, whatever you see here, all the scary stuff, do not fear. This is the message in the very beginning when it shows the reset and it shows the Phoenix phenomenon. It shows COVID and the vax scenario going off. It shows the internet and cell phones completely subjecting the human psyche into this technocratic type environment. And then it shows the blackout and it shows the vapor canopy at the very end. This is what he's talking about. Do not fear all these stages. This is all part of the plan because you're exiting the construct. And it's Shakespeare, all the world's a stage. He's quoting Shakespeare, all the world's a stage. So the narrator's very specific. There are 204 countries in the world participating in the 30th Olympiad. That number 204 is absolutely integral to understanding that we're talking about the Great Pyramid. The four principal sides, I know it's octahedral, but it's still four-sided. The pyramid is four sides. Just because the four sides have an indentation on them today that makes it octahedral to someone who has very precise measuring equipment, but you can't see it with the naked eye, doesn't mean it's not four-sided. It's always been a prism. And when the casing blocks are put back on it, it will completely lose that octahedral aspect. That's earthquake proofing. Now, those are 100-inch thick casing blocks. The casing blocks are integral to understanding what I'm going to show you now. The Great Pyramid that you just saw is 51 degrees on each face. 51 degrees on four faces is 204 degrees. There are 204 flags participating, 204 countries participating. The whole world came together to build the Great Pyramid in ancient times. But even more so, we know that the Great Pyramid is precisely 203 levels high. So let me show you that. Let me show you. For those who are new to my channel and don't know, and you think I'm out of my mind crazy, you need to see. I need to present something. Hold on. Share screen. I'm going to show you. I don't want to tell you about it. I'm going to show you. Like right now. What I'm talking about. Here it is. There are 203 levels of masonry in the Great Pyramid, which makes it the only structure in the world like it, because it has all these internal chambers and galleries that no other pyramid in the world possesses. All the other pyramids have descending passages and subterranean chambers. But the Great Pyramid has 203 levels going to a flat plateau at the top. 203 courses. But when the chief cornerstone is put back in its proper place, that's the 204th piece. And it fulfills the geometry of the divine knowledges of the angels of heaven found in the book of 1st and 2nd Esdras, which says that the past, present, and the future was recorded in 204 books. Here they are, 204 books. It is a reference to the Great Pyramid. Now, we're not going to go there yet. Okay, so let's get out of here and go straight into the next one. Still sharing my screen. This is getting very close to the closing of the closing ceremony. Here's the Olympic torch. This Olympic torch is 204 torches, one for each participating country. It's the whole world. This represents the human family. At the end of the torch ceremony, right when they're about to put the torch out, they show a choir of children all wearing shirts that say imagine Everybody's shirts say imagine. Remember, I've told you guys the three main qualities inside the construct that separate the spiritual from the living dead is imagination, intuition, and empathy. Here is a choir wearing a bunch of shirts that are all white with the words imagine. But what are they on? This is the base platform for the pyramid they just made. You can see the steps on each side. This is a corner, not the flat side of a pyramid. This is the corner of a pyramid. Do you see the symbolism here? We no longer have stones making the structure. We now have people. People have replaced the stones. Remember what I've told you in all my presentations on the Great Pyramid in the past. Every stone is a symbol for a soul of man that's going to make an exodus from this construct. That's what the geometry of the Great Pyramid teaches us. When you line it up with the calendars of the ancient world, it screams at us that this is a vehicle of exodus. If you think that this white foundation under here is not representing the Great Pyramid, and these aren't stones, we'll take a look at this. Got too many things here. There's the casing blocks. The base of the Great Pyramid was pure white right here. There's the casing blocks at the bottom. Here's another representation of them. So the casing blocks at the bottom of the pyramid. Here they are again on the far right. Very few have survived. Well, that's the other video. The link for the first video right here, Pythian Countdown. You listen. If you haven't seen it, you got to see it. So yeah, this right here shows that the Great Pyramid is actually the monument of man. All those dancers earlier who were assuming the square position were assuming the role of being a stone. They were a stone fit into the monument. And here they are, all wearing these shirts that say imagine. Here they are again. Imagine. Their whole song is done in sign language. Pretty cool music. There it is. See that slant? That slant is how the Great Pyramid's casing blocks were. Here's the corner. Symbol for cornerstone. Okay. Go back to here. Well, I need to go here. Check out. Yeah, those little children, it's not even talking about little children. Those little children you saw on the casing blocks foundation, no, that's representative of an innocent humanity. These are the innocent ones. These are the ones who did not reject the stone the builders rejected. These are the ones who are being removed from the construct. Remember, if you're not as innocent as a little child, remember the verses. They all begin to make sense when you understand the Great Pyramid is a giant lithic metaphor for redeemed humanity, the elect, the sealed, the chosen, those who are going to be making their departure from this world. This is what the story of the Exodus was about. Remember, the apophthegm of the Great Pyramid, the sloping angle is exactly 612 feet, which is 7,344 inches. 7,344 years is that's the Archaix chronology. From 5239 BC, the Anunnaki chronology of 600-year periods begins, and then the Phoenix timeline, the Anno Mundi timeline, the Mayan long count, the Hebrew Jubilees, all of them fit perfectly, and they go all the way to 2106 AD, the 6,000th year since the Adam and Eve reset. which was caused by the typhon, the Phoenix phenomenon. This is 7,344 years, which is 2448 years times 3. And in the narrative of the Old Testament, the year 2448 was 1447 BC. It is the year of the Exodus of the Israelites from Egypt. The Exodus was a tripartite departure. One group went by land. The Amuru went by land and went and populated, Philistia, Phoenicia, Palestine, Tyre, Argob, Valley of Rephaim, Syria, Aram, went by land. But then there was two groups of ancient Amuru who later became known as Israelites that left by ship, the Danaan and the people of Cecrops, and they went to Athens and they went to Boeotia and Mycenae, and they participated in the Trojan War. And then their fleets left again, and they participated in the first and second battles of Moytura, the Field of Towers, and they finally overcame the local Furbolgs and took the island of Ireland as a possession. These were the Danaan. So we have these three Exodus, but it's a reset story. After the Great Pyramid was built during the Vapor Canopy, there was another destruction. There was a great, terrible destruction. A whole bunch of the Anuna made their escape and vanished from the historical record. It may have been an exodus. The Great Pyramid may have been used to execute an exodus before that, because we have a massive departure of the Anuna. I have called it in my Chronicon the shock and abandonment period, because as soon as the Anuna vanished, all the other cultures around the world who looked at them as benefactors, these bearded, tall benefactors, had disappeared. So they started making these giant effigies in the land. The Nazca symbols, the Nazca lines, I can't remember the giant with a boner in England, in a chalk on the side of a chalk hill. I can't remember the name of the giant, something, but we started making these sky-facing effigies, trying to get the gods to come back, because the Anuna had put out the same misinformation in the ancient world that is being put out by our intelligence agencies today, who want us to believe in extraterrestrials, when all the activity and all the traveling is in between the surface world and the underworld, and nobody goes beyond the sky. It's impossible. So it's the same story told over and over and over and over. And the story continues. Every cataclysm, even after the Great Pyramid was finished and then it was utilized one time, then there was a massive catastrophe that destroyed the world. And then after that destruction, what happens? Mariners arrive by ship, and the new people are more powerful, more stronger, and they move in among the indigenous locals who are very Neolithic, and they turn around and overlord over them, and they intermarry among them, and thus begins a new chapter in the human epics. This is the story that happens over and over and over. It is a story of resets, and it's retold right here in the Olympic ceremony. So let's go back to it. Okay, I need to share. This is going to get crazy, guys. Especially Archaix veterans know all about the Great Pyramid and the Phoenix. This is going to get crazy. All right. Great Pyramid's already been built. Great Pyramid's been built. It's been used at least one time. A bunch of souls made their exodus. After a reset, a new people enter the world stage. It's what they said about Enki, came by ship from the Apsu, the Great Deep. It's what they said. It's what they said about Cecrops, Ogyges, Deucalion, the new wine sailor, Noah. Coming by ship. Annie Lennox, she's singing the song, but she's you know her, your Eurythmics. Gotta be pushing 60. Oh, okay, we're done with that one. That was just a short little concert deal, but it still fulfills the post reset narrative of 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 people showing up with a different type of technology, and they always appear by ships. So here's one of the most famous skits. Right after that, it goes straight into Russell Brand. We all know about Russell Brand. He's real proud of showing off his 33rd degree tattoo, you know, Freemasonry. If it's real, I don't know. I don't even care. But we've all seen it. But what you're looking at isn't what you think. This is going to get crazy too. Russell Brand singing a song from the top of this bus. Let's look at this bus, because what you're seeing is very sinister. Let's look at this bus. Well, I'm trying to find, okay, yeah, we're going to see it good here in a second. Right here, you can barely see it. There are two indentations on this bus, one here and one there in the back. You really can't see it right now. That's a body. All right. There's another one back here. It's a human body. But we're going to see it better later. Here comes this elaborately colored bus. Russell Brand is singing from the top of this bus. Hey, I'll give him his props. He's an actor. He's a good actor. He's a good, hey, he played his role to a T. Inside the bus are people looking out. In the past, I kind of thought that maybe this is a truther bus. These are truthers going around. This is your community, and Russell Brand is taking them for a ride. And that might be a secondary message, but there's something more sinister here. Okay. Russell Brand again on the bus. Bus seems to be changing colors. This guy right here, dressed like a woman. Very, very theatrical. Over accentuates his feminine role on purpose. Right here. This guy here. Here's Russell Brand. There's a young, strapping young fellow, Mr. Brand. Shortly after he signed his contract. All right, you can see it real clear now that the spotlights are on it. You can see it really clear. Look, pay attention to what you're looking at. It's not just a human body, it's a zombified human body. Look at it. Look at the posture. It's not an ordinary body. This changes the identity of the bus. So here's another one. Look at this. Another. If you pay really close attention, you will see this secondary. This is a pan. This is a pan. You can tell from the goat legs. These are the goat legs. Like demon. But this is not. This is a human in a zombified form who is one with the bus. What is a bus? It's just a vehicle. Now, we got some really weird shit here. We got these 4 women out here. Very interesting. Somebody else had drawn this, had made the connection after it happened earlier last year, but here are 4 women scantily clad, and there's Russell Brand in the background. Now pay attention. Russell Brand, the bus stops. The people inside are looking at everything. Russell Brand's giving his song speech. I'm not really sure who these two guys are. Dressed like astronauts or something weird. Now, you can look at the side of the bus. You see the imprint of the body. Do you see this person right here? This is a real person dressed in a costume that literally blends into the bus. This is another one here, blending into the bus. The bus is a vehicle. Here's another one. There's a person here. You can barely see her blending into the bus. Something is disguised. Whatever is disguised is a vehicle. Here's these four women playing again. Russell Brand in the back. Here's the weirdo. He's just really overplaying his role. So he's deliberately trying to draw attention to the fact that he's a man dressed as a woman. Yeah, this isn't something as simple as being gay. This guy is really playing a role throughout here. Here is Russell Brand some more singing. Now, when the four scantily clad women are out of the way, the camera pans on four female police officers. You can't tell because when I took the screenshot, the lights on their hats are off, but these lights were all blinking together. There were sirens on their hats. Right here. Four police officers. The connection here that's really unusual is that last year, Russell Brand was publicly accused of sexual impropriety with four females. And then here show up four cops. So he was arrested, but I think that was just a Freemasonic humiliation ritual. There's the four scantily clad women. There are the four cops. And Russell Brand again. All right, we just have some more dancing. I think he's holding up a teddy bear. It's just very unusual. Remember, the music is also serves as a medium for a type of vehicle. Now look, you got these they're not really focusing on them, but back here in the background, you got these dancers that are painted exactly like the bus, but they're dancing very unusual, very weird. See, they're over here off the far right. They're off to the far right. They got your attention on the four women here playing the symphonic instruments and the four cops right here. They got your attention on Russell Brand, but these dancers that came off the bus, they don't have your attention drawn to them. But they're painted exactly like the bus. They blend in perfectly with it. Russell Brand comes out of the bus. Here's this dude right here. Look how he's dressed. Maybe all of them are guys. I don't know. Not the one in the front here. There's Russell Brand still singing. Remember, the bus is nothing but a vehicle. This is a guy again. I'm not really sure what his role is other than being irritating. He's always hanging around Russell. There he is again. He don't ever leave his side, really, in the whole presentation. It's just like this big orgy of a dance. Bunch of freak stuff, really. This whole deal. But the real message here, we have all these different types of people, but they're weird. They're weirdos. Here they are, all of them right here. All these different types of people. Russell Brand's in the middle. He's the one bringing the message. Look, he's surrounded by weirdos. So weird meaning something's different, something's going on. So the bus is just a symbol for a vehicle. What is the vehicle? The bus showed us what the vehicle was. People, humans are the vehicle, meaning normal humans are going to be used to deliver, because they are the vehicle. They're being used to deliver something to a whole nother generation of humans, and those humans are gonna be weird. This is what your occult breakdown is of this entire message. And this man here, Russell Brand, he may know exactly what this is all about. He may not. I don't know. But this was all just a theatrical way of conveying that normal humans are a vehicle, and they're going to deliver something to the next generation of humans, which is going to make those humans very, very odd, very abnormal. Now, to lend credence to that interpretation, the ritual doesn't stop. It actually continues. It just gets really weird. Here it is. Do you see this bus? Do you see this vehicle? Remember, a bus is a vehicle. This vehicle are humans. Something has happened that's very demonic to humans, because you saw that pan, a normal zombified human and a pan, a devil. This bus represents a contaminated human. Watch what the bus becomes. Watch what the contaminated human becomes. This bus literally grows an octopus head and tentacles. And they get bigger and bigger. That's the bus in the middle. The contaminated human. That's the bus in the middle. This guy's inside the octopus head on top of the bus playing DJ. Octopus gets bigger and bigger. You can still see the bus. The bus is a human. The bus represents humans that are purposefully being used as a vehicle to deliver something to another branch of humans, maybe the next generation, that's going to turn them into something else. Here it is again. Look at the size. This Colosseum is huge. Look at the size of this octopus. This is an aerial view. Here it is again. Keep in mind, you are looking at a dark Colosseum as well. It's not lit up. It's still vapor canopy colors, greenish blue. Here it is. What do we know about the symbol of the octopus? In the context of the pre-flood world, you remember humans were ruled over by the arachnid. In the earliest Egyptian pre-dynastic records, there was a mysterious pharaoh called Pharaoh Scorpion. Why? Because a scorpion is an arachnid. It draws your attention to the number 8. In the Sumerian king list before the flood, the 7 kings actually served an 8th. An 8th king. That's where you get this number 8 from. In the Native American traditions, before the flood, spider grandmother, 8, an arachnid, wove her webs across the sky and saved humanity. But spider grandmother and scorpion king are the same thing. The symbol for the Anunnaki was a spider. So It's just the spider is just an arachnid, but it's over a dry area. The octopus symbolizes vast intelligence, adaptability, and darkness. Why? This octopus can eject a whole sac membrane full of ink and cloud the water up and completely turn the world dark. The world of the octopus, the world of its observers becomes dark. So we have this pre-flood symbol here. The octopus, the arachnid, the scorpion, the number 8 is all indicative of the book of Revelation. There were 7 kings, and one is yet to come. And he is the 8th, and yet he is of the 7. This is a riddle that's found in the book of Revelation, talking about the 8th king that's coming to rule. And they name the 8th king. What's the 8th king? The 8th king is Abaddon. Abaddon is also called Apollyon. We have here a return in the future of an antediluvian power. It's going to get its power over humanity through something that's been put inside humanity and turned humans into carrier mechanisms, vans. Some humans have been turned into vans in order to deliver something to the next generation of humans. That generation is the one that's going to be totally under the control of Apollyon. That's a wicked looking spider. But remember, that's the bus. What was a bus? The bus was human. It's a vehicle. Look at that. Now the whole world could change color. Okay. Check my chat. We're going into the next skit. Told you this was going to get deep, guys, but I still have not dropped my bomb on you. It's going to get amazing. All right. Down here. Check my chat real quick. I said 2 hours. I lied. I'm such a liar. I'm such a fibber. All right. So far, we've had some mindgasms. So far, the ceremony has really just it's amazing. They're not even trying to hide anything. And everything in the Archaix research that I've put in my published books and in over 60 or 70 videos about the Great Pyramid, it's right here laid out for you. Some of the human family are going to be given a white stone. This is spiritual metaphor. They're going to be given a white stone. With that inheritance comes a new name. It means that you will be a pillar in the temple of your God, the eternal one, the oversoul. Being a pillar means that you will be a container of divine knowledges, and you are going to make your exodus from this construct. You're going to be a part of the monument of man, the Great Pyramid, when the chief cornerstone comes and descends upon the monument and finalizes it. But the rest of humanity is going to have to live through the next reset, and a bunch of those people are going to be subject to the power of Apollyon because other people allowed Apollo Pharmakia to put something in their body to control their descendants. Every bit of this makes sense. It's all unfolding exactly the way the ancient pre-flood world unfolded. This is what's going on. The 7 kings of the Abad dynasty. They're returning in the book of Revelation. This is not prophecy. It is programming. It is a playbook. So, all right. Let's see. Let's go present again. Thank you guys for joining me. We got over 3,000 in the chat. That's beautiful. But we got some more deep stuff to go through, so let's get to it. I'm sharing right now. All right. Back to sharing the screen. We're going into the next skit on the closing ceremony. Okay. What do you see? The broom is a reset symbol. Here it is. What do you see? Everything is dark. He's wearing the broom. We got to clean the world up after a systemic reset. He's sitting there dancing. It's a new age. But this new world is fundamentally different than the world that got reset. This new world is full of bioluminescence. A vapor canopy world would have bioluminescence everywhere. We have bioluminescence today, but it's not as prevalent. We have bioluminescent photosynthetic algae that appear in the ocean to make things glow. We have insects like fireflies. We have other insects. We have fish that have protuberances that glow to attract other fish. But in a vapor canopy environment, all kinds of adaptations will be triggered in the genomes, and all kinds of new glowing things would happen in that environment. We have glowing mushrooms. Excuse me. Always 99% of the time I sneeze twice. Man, might be allergic to something. Might be my fighting pills. I took some fighting pills this morning because I was feeling frisky. Let's see. So we have these people in this new environment that have attachments to their body that glow. All right, let's keep on. Let's continue that vein of thought. In this new environment, here we are. Now, I want you to pay attention to something. Do you see this? 2076. 2076. Take it or leave it. That's still way before 2106, the return of the chief cornerstone. 2076 is 6 years after the sealed are gone. The Great Pyramid number is complete in the year 2070, which is divisible by 138. But that's other presentations talk about the year 2070. I'm not. But here's 2076, and we've got in a whole new epic of a whole new biosphere, we have people that have glowing things attached to their body. As we saw in the opening ceremony, people had bioluminescent wings. Are they going to have actual wings? No. These are symbols. These are actual symbols. Remember, even Jesus spoke in parables. Parables are lies. They're literally a lie because none of those stories ever happened. They're a lie, but they're a story that is designed to illustrate a very deep moral, ethical, or spiritual truth. We live in the photo negative of a real reality. There is nothing here that's actual. This is all perceived reality. Even our arithmetic is the anti-arithmetic to something that is real elsewhere. This is what my exercise is on the Archaix challenge with 2178. Many of you know what I'm talking about. New to my channel, I don't have time to go into that. But this is a vapor canopy environment. This is a new biosphere, and it's a reset. The broom introduced the narrative. It's a reset. After this reset, we have this vapor canopy, and we have strange things, just like the opening ceremony. We have this girl coming in here. Here she is singing this giant dress. It's like a music video. She's just giving her song. Pretty cool how they did it, though, with umbrellas. There's a bunch of people under there holding her up. Now, in this period, here's bioluminescence again. In this period, 2076, here you go. People got glowing things on their bodies. Here they come. Here's vapor canopy culture. People in the background got weird, strange technologies now. Remember what I told you in past presentations going back 4 years now? In the vapor canopy, we're going to have different types of technologies, different energy sources. When atmospheric pressure is very different, the world is going to be very different. So here it is. Here's what's going on. They just giving their dance. It was a very unique music video skit, but it's showing post-vapor canopy period and the bioluminescent humans, and that's about it. That's all. That's basically all it's showing. I thought it was really profound that it showed the number 2076. So we get to the end, the closing of the closing ceremony. 204 torches. Remember, 204 levels of the Great Pyramid. The Great Pyramid symbolizes every stone is a soul of man that is going to make Exodus. Everybody else is on the outside, the living dead, who will loop back through the construct until they get it. Every torch, 204 torches, each torch represents a nation of the world. In the closing ceremony, the torch falls apart. Look, the torch is falling apart. It's falling down. The nations of the world are collapsing. It's falling down. We were told each torch was a nation. Here it is. They're falling down. All of a sudden, there's a cataclysm. Look at this. Don't think I'm making this up. As the nations of the world topple, something appears in the sky. The nations the fires of the nations are being extinguished. One by one, the fires go out when the phoenix appears in the sky. Here it is. That's supposed to symbolize the world. These are the nations of the world. Huge cataclysm. Here it is. Cataclysm's going off. Phoenix is in the sky. Look, even way far away from, looks like explosions, even way far away from the dome in London. The destruction doesn't go super high above the dome. It goes inside the Colosseum. The phoenix right there is burning in the sky as the world burns. You see the world? Go back to that. Look, it's representing the world, the fires of the nations. Look at all the incoming stars. The stars of heaven are falling. Look how they all come in. They come in over the world. Massive cataclysm. Huge cataclysm. Phoenix is in the sky. Here's another phoenix. This is the closing ceremony. Phoenix. Now look, all the nations, the fires of the nations are dying. The nations die out. The 204 nations of the world are snuffed out when the phoenix appears. In the last scenes of the whole ceremony is back to vapor canopy blue. There's your presentation. The interpretation of the first ceremony is complete and accurate, basically cross-referenced by the closing ceremony. And the closing ceremony began with Shakespeare's being quoted about we are asleep and that this is a dream. And yet, when I go to sleep in my dream, I will dream again. With the narrator telling us in the opening and in the closing ceremony, no matter what you see, do not fear. In this closing ceremony, we have the Phoenix and the Great Pyramid added to all the data of the vapor canopy and the Phoenix and the resets and the underground civilizations of the earlier, and the Phoenix phenomenon of the opening ceremony. Somebody choreographed all this absolutely perfectly. There's a phoenix on the far right. in the world back on a world with darkness. And that's how it closed. That was the end. It's crazy. Yeah, in the closing ceremony, they Bohemian Rhapsody. Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a land. You know the words. They really laid it on thick with that shirt, with that song. But so we have what we just reviewed. Like, for those of you very new to the channel, your best bet is to watch my presentation on the opening ceremony, and then go hit the link I provided and go watch the opening ceremony. Listen to the music, watch everything. You're going to see it with a whole new eye. Then listen to this one before you watch the second one. Every single bit of it. They already know the truth, guys. We're the ones just waking up to all this. We're the ones putting all this research together and finding out all this stuff. They've already known, and they've been knowing. They've been knowing. So, my only closing message for this entire scenario is, if ritual is so real, just like the CIA document on patterning, I've showed it on my channel in the community section. I cited it. I posted it. There is a CIA report on patterning showing how ritual can be used to create the mathematical coding necessary for events to go in the direction that you want them to go. So if ritual is so powerful, and yet it takes massive billion-dollar ceremonies in order to affect the collective, then how much more easier is it for you as a singularity, a divine, highly personalized, immortal being? How much easier it is for you to build your own reality. You're not trying to change the world. You're trying to change your world. That's my message. You already know. Archaix veterans, you already know. Awaken the immortal within. Break free or die trying. Tread carefully in the dark. I have these axioms for a reason, because it is easy. It's super simple. And the very same techniques that our controllers use to build the world that we don't like are the exact same techniques that we can build our own worlds within worlds, to where what they do doesn't matter. You're not here to save the world, my friends. You're here to grow and develop as an immortal being, because you're just passing through. If you don't think that you're a pilgrim or a sojourner just passing through this construct, then I promise you, you're not. You're going to loop back in and do exactly what you expect to do. I'm done, guys. That's it. I got tacos on my mind. And I will see you guys tomorrow with on my channel right here. We're going to host those boys from the UK, Rise Above. I like those guys. They're going to be here tomorrow. Carlos Castaneda. I know you ain't the real Carlos Castaneda. Yeah, man. Thank you, moderators. Thank you for putting the links in there as necessary. I appreciate it. For those of you who don't know, will my moderators please put my X account links in there? You guys, listen, if you don't hear it from the YouTube channel, I promise you, you got to watch out. There are fake Jason Brashearses and fake Archaix on almost every platform out there. They are not me. I am only posting on Twitter, on X. You want to see latest research? When I make daily discoveries on different things that are really interesting, they get posted on X. I probably have 2,000 awesome little posts. I do have over 2,000 awesome little posts on X. Things that just keep you entertained. You got to separate the real from the imagined. You hear a lot of things in social media, but you don't hear a lot of things that people can support and back up. And you don't hear a lot of logical things. This is what Archaix is about. I'm really done with my war talk. I'm really done with all that negative base stuff. I really don't care. I'm not even taking any of these people seriously anymore. Yeah, about 98% of all the people around me, I just don't take seriously in the truth community. I'm just done. I'm just done. Those who want to come to the table and talk, I'll let them talk. But those who don't, they can stay. I don't care. Just don't care. But it's getting to the point where almost everything that I see is offensive. And because it's my nature to be a warrior and to call out those things that I find that are offensive, I'm just going to, be like a turtle and stay in my own world. So if you want to enjoy my world and my discoveries and my research, you know where to go. But you got to be careful. There's a lot of people stealing my material and repackaging it for their own means. I just saw a video today by a very popular individual, and I was really sickened by how he so freely just used my concepts, was borrowing my vernacular, and not a single mention of Archaix. But we're getting a lot of this. The attacks are real, but you know what? I'm bigger than that, and I'm going to rise above all that. Just like my boys tomorrow, rise above. I'll holler at you guys. Go and get this fantastic outro. I enjoyed that, and we got more ceremony. We got the 2016 ceremony breakdowns next. Those are going to be really good too. There's no doubt.